So one of the projects that I have students collaborate in is on a presentation. So for this, it's basically a paired assignment. I have the main part of their assignment and then their participation group rubric. So for the main assignment, I give them their particular stance and I do let them know that they must work with a group of people. So for them, they can actually choose who they want to work with, or if they do not post who they want to work with, I actually randomly assign them and I give them an opportunity to pick their group. So the overall assignment is worth 75 points, but I did split it up between 60 points for the content itself, and then 15 points comes from the participation of the members of the group. I did actually let students know, because social loafing can happen, that they are going to be providing anonymous feedback on their group members' level of participation in the project. And if the average score is below 70%, then this could actually affect their total points of the project. So I do actually provide them with guidelines. Of course, they're going to have a grading rubric. So in terms of setting it up, I'm going to hit edit so you can see how it looks. So for this particular project, it is under the project tab. They do actually have to upload. Now, since this is a presentation, I'm not running it through plagiarism, but you could, of course, if it was a paper. Now, I am setting this up as a group assignment. And then since I've already created group sets, I can actually identify who the group project is. Now, in this case, I'm not going to do peer review. So I have their due dates. And then I'm going to hit save. So the purpose of this assignment is that they create a presentation collaboratively together. Now, since this is a presentation, I do actually ask them to do Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint rather, to do their video recording, and I do actually provide video directions on how to record on PowerPoint and share it with the group, and then convert it to a video. Because this is a group project, I do actually have them rate themselves in terms of each member's level of participation. And the way that I do that is I provide a separate assignment tab. Now this one is scored individually. This one is a group project. I use it as a group scoring, but if there are changes that need to happen, I change it at the end. So I do actually have them do participation grading. So I do actually create a Google form, and I will show you a copy of one of how they are supposed to rank their members. So I do actually ask them to make sure that they use their school email, so I don't have people basically padding their grade, going in and repeatedly filling out the survey. And I do actually provide them with the directions, and I do again preface that if it's below 70%, it does negatively impact their score. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example of one that I have done right now. So this is actually a live class, and what I've done in the announcement tab, well before the final project is due, I do actually request them to post their group membership, and I did give them a deadline. And they have to respond to the thread. So I already know who's going to be working in their group, and they basically get to select which group members that they want to be a part of. I do recommend that students look at the discussion postings of other students to see is their style of work something that they want to do. So I did actually post this well ahead of time, usually about a month before the final project timeline is requested for their membership. So after I do that, I'm going to go back to the assignment. So this is actually a live class. So their assignment is already set up, and they are fully aware that they have a final project due. In terms of their participation grading, it is here. So I do actually have them fill out a final participation survey, and this is actually embedded and it is live. They must enter their school email, so I know it's only one individual person scoring their level of participation. So I'm just going to enter into that particular sheet. Okay. So they get to actually fill out, and they are provided with directions. 0 did not help, 5 they helped the entire process, and then they have to hit next until they get to submit, and then at the back end I can actually see the level of participation. So by doing this, this actually increases group membership participation, and it also shows that if they're not participating in the group process, it does negatively affect their grade. And I do actually do this, and I let students know that if the group does a really stellar project, but you have members in the group that don't necessarily do as much work or is actively engaged in the process, they are not going to reap the benefits of the group actually doing a really good job. So it does negatively affect them. This has come in handy when I've seen group membership where you had a couple of people who are really on top of the wall, and then you have 1 or 2 who are barely doing the bare minimum or not even at all. So by doing so, this actually really does reinforce that they need to participate, and if they don't, their final project score does actually greatly affect their grade. And then I've actually had to filter students who are saying that they are participating, they are engaged, and then when I look at their discussion, your Canvas, or I actually ask students to submit your group communication in case there is a problem, and it's definitely noticeable those students who are not engaged in their project. So this is one way to elicit participation in a group project, and also making them accountable for their group work.